The Washington sketch is, above all, devoted to public service. And that's why we find ourselves here today in the Hart Senate Office building, just down the corridor from Senator Joe Lieberman's office and a couple of floors up from Senator Ted Stevens' office. Both men may soon find themselves out of work, and we are here to help them. Reporters and staffers are mobbing the corridors outside of the Senate chamber to learn the fate of these two key senators. Democrats are deciding whether to strip Senator Lieberman of his committee chairmanship because of his over-the-top support of John McCain during the election. Republicans are meeting behind closed doors to decide the fate of Senator Stevens, recently convicted on bribery-related charges. With these two lawmakers potentially in need of work, the Washington sketch combed the Capitol in search of alternatives. Perhaps Senator Stevens or Senator Lieberman could find work operating the Senate subway, which takes lawmakers from the Capitol to the Russell office building. If those jobs are already taken, they could potentially find work in the coffee shop in the Russell Senate office building. Or they could help out in the Senate press gallery, which is currently being renovated. Conditions have gotten quite poor for journalists there, with some being forced to work on folding tables next to the men's bathroom. But if Senator Lieberman or Senator Stevens is truly desperate, we'll find a place for them. Almost all of the Senate Democrats gathered around the microphone while their leader, Harry Reid, announced with some misgivings that Senator Lieberman would keep his committee chairmanship.
It's very clear that the vast majority of the Democratic caucus wants to keep Senator Lieberman as chairman of his committee, member of the Armed Services Committee, and that was done. It's all over with.
While his message was officially about moving forward, there was no avoiding the fact that Harry Reid still was mighty angry at Joe Lieberman.
We're moving forward, recognizing that there's a period of time that in Joe Lieberman's political career that I will never understand or approve.
And now Reid has another reason to be angry at Lieberman. It was supposed to be Reid's press conference, but Lieberman insisted on having his say.
We're looking forward to the future, a future that we believe sets a new tone for America. Okay, everybody. Senator Lieberman is asked to say a few words.
While Lieberman spoke, Reid stood off to the side awkwardly, waiting for an apology that never quite came.
I particularly look forward to continuing my work as chairman of the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee.
It was a fairly wimpy collapse for the Democrats. Luckily for them, though, the Republicans had an embarrassment of their own. McConnell clearly wasn't in a mood to talk about the senator. He got 4 questions on the subject. He gave the same answer 4 times.
Yeah, the position of the conference was that that matter ought to be postponed until we knew the outcome of the election in Alaska. The position of the conference is that the matter ought to be taken up after we know the results of the election in Alaska. Let me just say again, on the Stevens issue, the view of the conference was that it ought to be delayed until we knew the results of the election in Alaska. I don't know whether I should repeat the same thing 4 times or not. Your question's about Stevens? Yeah, well, the answer is that the conference agreed to postpone the matter until we knew the outcome of the election in Alaska. Okay, thanks, everybody.
Senator Stevens, however, was not so lucky. By the end of the day, his 85th birthday, as chance would have it, the vote counting up in Alaska revealed that he had lost his re-election bid. But if it's any comfort to the senator, after this month's Democratic landslide, he'll have plenty of company from his fellow Republicans at the next congressional job fair.